At the beginning of 2023, the world's population exceeds 8 billion human beings and is still growing. The technical and economic development achieved in recent decades has enabled us to live better than ever before, extending our life expectations in ways that a century ago would have seemed a real fantasy. However, we cannot deny that population growth has a directly proportional effect on the environment. The impact we are capable of generating and the pressure we are exerting on certain resources threatens our current economic system. In order to address this situation, the main challenge for the current economy is to change the model of production and consumption. We must be able to ensure that resources can be used as much as possible before they are discarded. We must avoid the generation of waste, especially waste that is difficult to manage and represents danger to the environment. The concept of circular economy, in its maximum application, proposes the vision of a system in which all resources are continuously renewed, where the waste from one process becomes the raw material for another. A way of living in which no material or product is ever considered waste. Thus, economic growth could become decoupled from environmental impact by ceasing to extract natural resources and avoiding the emission of waste. So far, this is only a theoretical model. We are still far from being able to decouple economic growth from the use of nature. In fact, according to the latest Circularity Gap report, only 7% of the current global economy is based on circular processes. For that reason, we are studying whether the circular economy model would really allow, first, generate processes in order to restore the values of materials and products at the end of their useful life, or to extend it as much as possible. And second, transition to a new model of production and consumption, maintaining our standard of living while reducing the use of natural resources. Moving on, let's have a look at the latest developments to shift from a linear economy to a circular economy model. In order to do so, it is first necessary to better understand what the circular economy is. Nowadays, this concept includes the following. First, all practices aimed at extending the life of material economic goods. Second, all actions consisting of transforming waste into secondary raw materials. Third, those processes whose purpose is to repair products in order to introduce them into their own or other value chains. In simple words, it involves reusing, repairing, recycling, renewing and sharing materials and products so that they remain useful and therefore maintain their economic value. This seems perfectly logical, but why isn't everyone applying it? If it is more profitable and better for the environment, why isn't the economy already circular? The truth is that there are several reasons, which we will call barriers, due to the lack of a better term. These barriers prevent the real application of the circular economy in all areas of production. They are classified as follows. Technology and knowledge. Among the technological and knowledge barriers, we can highlight the lack of technology or its high cost, which prevents its implementation. Furthermore, it is true that it is still necessary to research and acquire large amounts of knowledge in order to be able to convert most waste into secondary raw materials. Economic and investment risk barriers. Although we sometimes have the right technology to recirculate waste, the process is too expensive and not profitable either for the producer or the consumer of the product. In the same respect, the uncertainty that exists in the field of the circular economy can paralyze investments that would make some businesses profitable. Regulatory barriers. In cases where we have mastered the technology to recirculate some waste, it sometimes happens that legislation, whether European or national, establishes criteria that prevent some products from being released back onto the market. This is due to the application of the precautionary principle, and is a way of ensuring the suitability of everything sold in the European internal market. Science and legislation must continue to work hand in hand to overcome this barrier. Social and behavioral barriers. Sometimes, after overcoming the previous barriers, it is the person who has to consume a product who, due to unconscious prejudices, prefers not to consume a product from the circular economy. Likewise, social customs obstruct the implementation of circular practices. Later on, we will learn firsthand about successful examples of organizations that have implemented business models based on circular practices.